Hey goalies, it's Kirk from Warrior Goalie. I'm here with Bonesy. We're at Breckenridge, Colorado for the Global Goaltending Retreat. I've got a lot of the new equipment with me here from Warrior Goalie, the Ritual G7 line, the RF2 mask, and our new RM3 stick family. Want to talk to you guys a little bit about it, give you some of the nuts and bolts of what we're up to. So starting with the pad, this is our G7 RTL. It's our top pad. It's a one-piece core pad, medium flex below the knee with an outer roll break, and then a very stiff thigh rise. A key attribute that we wanted to bring into the G7 is longevity and making sure that this pad doesn't get too soft too fast, and that performance will really last you for at least 2 seasons, if not longer. In addition to that, a big story with light pads right now is slidability. So as you'll see, this is the first pad in a long time from us that we don't have air slide. We've subbed out air slide for a full HD foam inner gusset in combination with our slide plate, which is a removable feature. If it's too fast, don't sweat it. You can take it off in 2 seconds. And we've used some Hypercomp, which is our composite plastic material. We use it all throughout the face of the pad, the face of the glove blocker. And we use that Hypercomp from the knee block into what we refer to as our knee drive system to get you into the butterfly quicker, making sure your slides are fast and your pad is also very stable in the slide. But really on the back of the pad, it's very Warrior in the sense that you can adjust everything that you want. So if you want to make a strap tighter, looser, try a practice without a strap, put it back on because you didn't like it. It's super user friendly for you to get the pad dialed in exactly how you want it to fit on your leg, feel on your leg, and as you're moving throughout the crease. The other things that we brought here, we brought both of our glove models. This is the G7 that I'm holding here with the single T and the 7.1 with our double T. So the G7 has a longer thumb and a shorter finger. So when I open this glove up, it's very wide catching shape. If you were to draw a straight line between the break of the glove out to the apex of the T, this glove has more coverage on the thumb side, which would benefit you catching pucks up by your ear if that's something that you struggle with. The 7.1 is the opposite of that. So a shorter thumb, a longer finger. This is gonna give you more reach on low shots. So if you struggle with catching pucks just over your pad, or again, if you're just using a glove that's more like this shape and it feels like home, you would probably wanna start here. It doesn't mean that you have to choose one glove over the other based on what you're using today, but it's a starting point. And there's some other differences as well about the gloves, the internals of the gloves, and if a palm is removable or not. But a key focus for both of these gloves, a key change from the G6 models, was wrist mobility. We really scooped this area out here so that you can get a full 90-degree wrist bend off of your arm. So having an open wrist has a huge relation to the amount of coverage that you get from a glove. So we think everything about the glove from the tee, the cuff, it all has an impact on coverage. For blockers, we have both models, the 7 and the 7.1. It kind of starts again with that similar conversation of what do you use today? What board shape do you like? We have a G7 here. We refer to this as our 20-degree board shape. It's a thicker, flatter board. And then the 7.1 is the opposite of that. So you have a thinner board with a 35-degree curve, a higher curve. Both have advantages in coverage. So the G7 model that I'm holding here, this has more advantage in coverage on that first initial shot and presenting larger to the shooter because it's a flatter board, it's extended and elongated. The 7.1 gives you a coverage advantage in tight, right? If you have a higher curve, pucks are just in front of you, you want to cut that aerial angle off again and project the blocker out so that nothing's coming up over the blocker. The next thing I'll touch on is the RF2 Pro Mask. This is an exciting product from us from Warrior Goalie because it's our second generation of what was the F1. We released that in 2020, and then we just released this mask last year in 2023. And so we focus on fit first and foremost and making sure that the helmet sits properly on a goaltender's head, that you don't have gaps up between your forehead and the shell, and that your chin is in a safe spot as well inside the mask. So there's a lot of adjustability inside the helmet with the chin cup and the 5-point strapping. On our Pro Mask, we do an invisible harness. Typically goalies that shop for these helmets would like to get them painted or wrapped. So we make that super easy for those people. And then we also offer an E+ model, which is a little bit heavier than the Pro, but it's got a little bit more fiberglass in it with the composite. This is a full carbon shell. Minimus Carbon 20 is what we refer to, so it's super light and very strong. And then the last thing I would love to talk to you about is our new M3 RTL. Big take-home thing about the M3 family is that we have new paddle sizing. So for a long time, there's been a confusion, or hey, if you're in this brand, you make sure you want to get this in a Warrior and mix and match, and you have to do all this math to figure out what Warrior stick you even need and what size. So now we have industry standard paddle sizing with the M3 family. So the V3 is still that old size if you're shopping for the V3, but big stories here talking about tech and spec and feature is this has our minimus paddle geometry. These ridges on the back of the paddle are stiffening the paddle, so it drives the flex down to where this W is. So you have a quick release. It makes it super easy to lift the puck off the ice. But the more exciting thing that's new about the RTL and also on the M3 Pro is the ASG shaft, and that stands for asymmetrical shaft geometry. We wanted to, again, kind of go on this quest of how do we make puck handling easier for goalies. So we started by creating the shape that would fit into the heel of your glove so that you have more control over the shaft, and that's going to give you more accuracy and leverage that you've never had before in your shot. And then another one that probably provides the most value to a goalie is durability. So a lot of goalies will look at this and say, is this durable? This looks thinner? So this increased radius allows the puck to leave the shaft without having that big impact absorption, making the shaft more durable. So goalies, that's a lot of the new stuff from Warrior Goalie, the G7, the F2 Pro Mask, our M3 RTL stick. Thanks for checking it out and listening. Bonesy, thanks for this opportunity to be here with you here in Breckenridge. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at Warrior Goalie on Instagram or any of our social channels.